Okay, people. It is August 27th, 2019. I'm telling you right now, my house is imploding from the inside. My landlady has been wanting more money. Because what she does, what the Punjabi community does, being that they own the majority of the houses out here, people, they go on Craigslist and places like that and they see what the market value is for housing, for rentals, right? And if they're renting a 4-bedroom out for $2,800, if you're living in a 4-bedroom before this corruption overtook the province, and you're paying $1,500, the landlord just doesn't want you anymore. Because they know they can kick you out by any means necessary, jack it up to $2,600. This place next door, when that was a shack, 4-bedroom with major plumbing problems, $2,800 a month, people. That little shack that I had, the little house, for a 3-bedroom Mickey Mouse into a 4-bedroom with huge plumbing problems, $1,900, and only because it was being tore down within 8 months. And then everybody was kicked off to the fucking curb, didn't care where they went. The majority of them, if not all, were addicts, so even more reason to kick them off to the curb. Me? Oh, I can't get a handle on the yard, right? Even though when I first moved in, it was nothing but a fucking weed pit, right? Sand, grit, and dirt, and morning glory, and buttercup, right? I mean, it's come a long way in the last 10 years, people. So anyway, you get the gist of what's going on with the housing market. So you can consider this house to be a 6-bedroom, 3 up, 3 down, right? And because of that, and because of what I've done in the yard, people, my landlady can get $3,300 to $3,500 a month in rent if she wanted to rent this place out. Easy. But she doesn't want to rent this place out, people. She just wants to sell it and get rid of the fucking maintenance problems, because it has some serious maintenance problems that, like, I fucking live with all the time. Like my sliding glass door. We've been asking for years to get it fucking changed, right? Because it's just coming off the runner all the time, you know, and it doesn't have, like, it's just stupid. You know, I have to get underneath the rafters and cover up old rotten wood, right? You know, I gotta climb a fucking ladder and work on the gutters myself because I can't find anybody to fucking do it without having to overcharge $50 an hour to do it. But I'm expected to do it, right? If you don't like it, you can move, right? Take as is, right? I mean, we've been there many times, right? Now, don't get me wrong. I am not unappreciative of my landlords allowing me to stay in this house currently at $1,800 a month. But because the 18 doesn't match what's on Craigslist, of course my landlady came and said, well, I need more money. You know, everything's going up, right? Cost of this, cost of that, you know, blah. And I'm like, okay. Like, I just started giving you an extra 50, and all right, I talked to my son downstairs. I talked to Edgar downstairs. I said, look, she wants more money. She's not satisfied, right, with the $1,800, because she goes on Craigslist and she can see that she can get $3,000 and more because of the yard, because of this place. Or she can simply sell it. She owns this place, another place over there. 2 years ago, they built themselves a brand new monster home and moved into that place. And then the other day, she was asking my son to go cut a tree in some other fucking location where she owns now, I guess, another house. As we live in misery, people. We have to wait sometimes so long for things to get fixed. But then the fighting, the arguing, right? And then on top of it, want more money, right? And every year it's more money, more money. The only thing is, people, I don't have more money. When Uncle John was medically kidnapped, right? Like, it's amazing I even fucking made it through it. In terms of the bills. Right? Shimei was paying $575 for her room. She was murdered. We rented it out for $500 to Edgar. Because we were, $575, my son said, is too much. And I'm like, okay, well, whatever. Whatever. I'll accept $5. $5 is better than nothing. Right? So I was kind of muscled to take it. I had really no choice. Right? Because I have to pay my landlord. Right? Okay. And then, however long later, she wanted more money. And like, when I first moved in, people, I was paying $1,500. The deal was, move in, stay as long as you want, we'll never raise the rent. As for these stairs on the outside, I was tricked with that. Because when I came to see the house, they wanted me to see it at nighttime. So I came in the dark in November with John and Joan. And I never got to see the yard. Because if I would have seen the yard, I don't know if I would have moved in. Honest to God, I don't know if I would have moved in, people. Right? But besides that point, when it came time to see downstairs, everybody was talking, and then they just kind of quickly ran us off through the basement, right? Ran us in, through the back door, right? And down the stairs, and we didn't even stop to think about where's the inside stairs. Go in the basement, whatever, and then we're upstairs now talking, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go look at another house. Oh, no, just, move in, and you're a nice family, and nice family because I had old people that had money. I was on social assistance, so the chances of me carrying on like some irresponsible tenant and not wanting to pay their rent was pretty slim. So, we were good pickings when it came to tenants in terms of having their rent paid on time, right? And they knew that. So I'm like, well, I'm going to go look at the house first, right? And, no, if you need to take it now. And my other landlord, Wally, he did the same thing to me. But Wally, different landlord, different economy, different something. Anyway, it was just a better situation because when the porch needed to be fucking done, he just ripped out the old porch and built a new one. And then cried when it came time for me to leave because I was illegally cut off of welfare with 5 dependent children, and I just couldn't keep up with, living in a house at that time. I was scared. I should have stayed, but I did what was best for my family, and we downsized into a 2-bedroom apartment from a 5-bedroom home. And after we moved out, Wally's life just fell apart. Pam, his wife, everything. I ran into Pam, and their lives fell apart. Just like our lives fell apart. So, anyway, take it now, because if you don't take it now, the next person who comes, if they take it, you lose it. Don't worry, stay as long as you want. We'll never raise the rent. And I said, okay, I'll take it. A few days later, I'm like, where's the inside stairs? I didn't move I took it on like November 20th. I rented the house from November 20th, but I didn't move the family in until like December 14th. So my son and I were going back and forth with my car, with carloads and setting up bookshelves and just getting ready for the major move, right? Did that for a couple of weeks first, right? Bought carpets, everything. I had to supply my own carpets, my own underlay. So I carpeted like three rooms, right? I had to accommodate Joan, right? So, I'm buying now couches and shit like that, right? Fucking kitchen shit so that she can have her own little place downstairs, right? John and her could live out their last days in marriage of fucking something. Being in an old folks home all locked up by yourself in Victoria with nobody visiting you. So, I went through all those changes, right? And then spring came and boom, the yard. And so anyway, $1,500, that was in 2009. I didn't move my family in until December of '09, so we'll take it from 10. So from 2010 to now, which is 9 years, right? 9 years? 9 years, right? 9.5 years. My rent has gone up from $1,500 to $1,800 and now to $2,000 at the end of this month. Okay? So we're at the $300 mark for 9 years, right? With a lot of suffering in terms of waiting for things to get fixed properly. There's a difference between somebody coming in and doing something and not doing it properly and then have to come back and do it again or be told if you don't like it, you can move. I mean, just all kinds of crazy shit, people. Right? Because at one point my landlords just really wanted to get rid of this problem in terms of the house. Not me, but the house. In terms of the maintenance. Right? Because they buy houses for investment to make money. That's what sustains the economy now. Is the housing market. People don't buy houses for family homes anymore. They buy houses to make money. Right? That's what that guy does at that little house. He builds himself a new house as he lives in the other house that he just built. And then he sells the other house to move into the new house so that he can go find another shit box, buy it cheap, kick everybody out, and restart the process all over again so that when people are homeless, walking up and down the fucking street, they're looking at these houses that they can't afford anymore. Because that's what's sustaining the economy. Right? So, it's not like my kids don't know that we have no place to go. Seriously. So I tell them, if we can do some things for ourselves, it's always been like that, people. Even when I was a kid, my mother was doing things for these landlords. If she wanted to live in her fucking house and not lose her fucking house, right, she'd be painting or doing wallpaper or ripping out carpets or doing whatever that technically the landlord should be doing. But, so this is like something that's like been generational, and I'm like 58. So this shit was going on when I was 8. Okay? 8, 9, 10, younger than that. So for 50 years, this is how wealth has been built, right? And, so anyway, out of that $300 increase, starting last year, when she came in with that other $50, she wanted more. Because it was more, and then I give, and then she wants more, and I give. Right? I told my son, and I told Edgar, you guys are covering that $50. $25 each. Because I've already covered the other $250 with less money. Uncle John is gone. Joan is gone. Sierra's gone, right? Shmay is gone, right? Edgar moves in for cheaper rent, right? But I'm supposed to cover the cost with less money, right? And buy the fridges and fucking water hoses or whatever, right? So I've covered the cost of $250 since moving in terms of the rental increase out of my own budget, right? Mrs., my landlady, she sees I get the baby, so now she thinks I get more money. Trust me, people, I would rather my daughter be alive. Okay? I would rather the help of my daughter than to have an extra $100 a month because now I have the baby. Right? Because as it is, I'm getting $75 less for her room right now by somebody that wants to throw the Landlords and Tenancy Act branch at me because he doesn't want to cover this extra $75 between him and my son, and right, to compensate for this $200 increase that I get at the end of the month. They think I should challenge my landlady with the Landlords and Tenancy Act branch and take her to fucking court. And I'm trying to tell them, you just need to be happy with what the fuck you got. And if you don't like it, move out. Because I'm sure somebody else will pay $600 for that room as is. Right? Because that's how bad it is out there right now. Right? They can't get mad at me for the bathroom not being finished with the pipe and all that shit, right? Because, I'm not the one holding it up, right? You know? And just shit like that, people. Right? If you're not happy with your environment, then fucking leave. Right? I'll roll with the punches. When I had my first child, I had a fucking townhouse. I was renting out rooms. At one point, I was dealing with fucking people going in and out like a revolving door from the welfare fucking office. Okay? What do you think that was going on at that little house over there? It was a revolving fucking door with the welfare fucking office. Everybody with a bad fucking attitude don't want to pay their fucking rent because under the Landlords and Tenancy Act, it says, they have rights. Yeah, well, take your rights, go get your own fucking house, and go rent the room to somebody else if you've got an extra room. And when they come back and talk to you like fucking shit, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Right? But they don't do that. No, they just move into other people's houses or sit at home, don't want to fucking grow up, act like a man, you know, talk fucking, be reasonable. Right? You know, my son, right? When he first moved in, 9 years ago, I don't know. I can't remember if he was paying rent or he quickly soon after started paying rent because he started going to college. And when he went to college, he started paying $500 a month in rent. Or was it $4? It was $4. It was $400 a month or something like that. And then when Uncle John disappeared, it went up to $5. Okay? Everybody, Shmay was $4, right? Marcane was $4. John disappeared. They went to $5. I needed more, but I settled for $5. And then last year, an extra $25, right? And he doesn't want to pay. I don't know. I've already absorbed $250, people, in terms of the rent being increased, and they want me to absorb another fucking $150. Like, I am so wanting to get on that highway. Like, I just want to walk away from it all. I am not being respected in my own house. I'm not. I don't need to be battling with bullies. Right? I don't. Right? And it's not going to stop because in another 12 months from now, 11 months from now, 10 months from now, my landlady is going to ask for more money. And then I'm going to go to them, they're going to say, oh, well, how much is the hydro? How much is this? You know, I'm not paying it anymore. It will be right back to where we're starting right now. Technically, I'm not even going to include that from that $400 to that $500 jump, right? Because when Uncle John was here, we were just cutting the kids some slack, right? They were young, just coming into the game, right? After he was gone, right? I mean, it had to go up to $5. And it stayed like that for a long, long time. And I was absorbing those rent increases right along with the hydro increase on your bill because the government has increased it every fucking year for the last 3 years, going on to the 4th year now with another increase. Gas is not so bad, but in the wintertime, it can jump up to like $350, if not more, for 1 month in gas. Right? When people are doing a lot of laundry, taking a lot of fucking showers and shit like that, obviously the gas goes up because that's how the hot water tank is heated, is through gas. Right? They don't care about that, though. They don't care about that, right? They just care about, well, you can't raise my rent unless you go through the Landlords and Tenancy Act branch. And I'm like, that's not the kind of relationship that I have with my landlords. It's enough that they're allowing me to stay here, right? You know, I bite my tongue with certain things because it's on the outside, and I try not to, like, get all bent out, like, like I have to get in there and, do that shit and, maybe try and fix the gutter, right? Or go find somebody to fucking do it, right? You know what I mean? Like, I have the ladder now, so it'll be easier to find somebody. And I owe my landlady, like, a little bit of money so I can pay that person to do it. I thought it was going to be Edgar, but no, it doesn't seem that way because he's running around feeling like a fucking victim because he's got to pay $600 for his room. Well, lots of people would pay $600 for a fucking room. Nobody goes and steals your shit. Nothing. Nobody bugs you. You have your dog, right? I'm sorry the fucking kitchen is in disarray right now, but you said you were going to help. Why aren't you helping? Right? Because you're brooding. I don't need brooders in my house. Because brooders make the house implode. Right? So now I'm warring over fucking rent increase. And I have to give it to my landlady one way or another. Whether they give me what I'm asking to give them to give me, or it should be 3% increase per year. 3%, I think that's what it is. Not 100 at a time. It goes from 50 to 100 now to 200. So it will be a $500 increase since 2010 in a period of 9 years. 10 years. 9 years. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And we're coming into the end of the 9th year, right? So it will be 10 years. I don't know what the dollar value is on that, right? Could have things been better in terms of having things fixed faster when they needed to be fixed? Well, obviously, it would have brought down a lot of tension in the house. But at the same time, when you're looking around that they're just tearing these houses down and they can't justify fixing them because they know that if they don't want the house, they can simply sell it for $1 million profit margin. $1 million, well, it would be more than that, people. It would be more than that. Because when I moved in, this place was maybe $750,000, $800,000 on the highball of it. Now, we're pushing to over 1.5 million and up. She's doubled her money. And now she's bought another house cheaper, further away, because they're spreading out. To eventually tear down that house as the developers move in. And my kids want to speed up the implosion faster because they want to fucking quibble over a measly $75. Or new people move in, like over there at that little fucking house, and it becomes a mutiny. Well, take your mutiny ass somewhere else. Go find your own fucking house and be the boss. Serious. Serious. So I'm counting my blessings with this food. After this, I'm going to go probably I'm going to do the apples at some point, even though I'm upset. Right? I'm going to cook them. I won't maybe can them. I think I might can the rhubarb tonight. Or cut it. Because I'm going to get a few days' work outside. Starting tomorrow. 2 or 3 days. Depends how much I can do back to back. And I already warned Tisha, if I'm working outside, don't come storming through my house 3 days later and crying on about how I don't clean it, right? When I'm outside for fucking 12, 14 fucking hours, day after day, I'm like, come on, think about it. And you're running through, tracking your shit, and throwing this and throwing that, and piling up this and piling up that. I mean, forget it, man. I'm just serious. This is fucking stupid. Fucking stupid. I got people telling me what they're gonna give me as they bitch. Right? Like, just go away. I'm telling my son, when I move this house, I'm not living with you no more. Nope. Not gonna have him fucking bossing me around. Nope. He takes the things that he likes to use, asks me if he can keep them. I said, well, yeah, you can keep them in your room. If I need them, I know where they are. And the shit that he doesn't have no use for, he just throws it out in the garage. And then starts. Well, I'm glad you like my fucking saws. I'm glad you like my fucking cables. I'm glad you like my fucking socket set. I'm glad you like. I'm glad you like these things. Kids don't respect their parents. They don't. They don't. This internet shit with these violent games and people talking trash to each other, trolls trolling trolls, trolls trolling trolls, people. it's done something to these young people's brains. Always wanting to argue. You know? You say stop, they say no, I'm going. You say right, they say no, I'm going left. You say hold on, no, I'm running. You know, like, I'm done. Because when they do that, that is how the house begins to implode. I don't know what they're gonna do when I'm gone. It's gonna be a fucking Gong show. If this is a Gong show now, and they're battling wills with me now, right? Because I've got pressure to meet expectations from somebody that's actually cutting us some grace, right? $2,000, people, is better than fucking $3,000. And when you move, and I tell them this, at least in this house, the electrical is pretty sound, because I've already been through it with my landlady 2 times. Because the first guy that came around didn't do the fucking job right. Whether he was doing it on purpose or whether he was told to do it, I don't know. All I know is I noticed that he didn't do shit downstairs, and she had to get another guy to come in and fucking do it over again. So she paid twice to make sure that everything was done electrically well in his house. Because when I moved in, everything was sparking. Every electrical outlet had to be replaced. Every one. That's how neglected they were. Right? You know, same thing with that plumber. You know, he come in and he bust a fucking pipe, and next thing you know, they're ripping up the fucking yard. Right? But now we've got good piping. Haven't really had a problem since, except for once. And that was it. It was a big inconvenience. It was a big hassle. It made everybody frustrated, but it's over with. So why the hell would I want to move from this house to move into another old house that is just being neglected anyway, because nobody wants to fucking invest into it, because as far as they're concerned, it's just something to flip profit with. To move in with, well, if you don't like it, you can move. Same thing like with the leaky pipes. When I moved in, first fucking week I moved in, Christmas Eve, my pipe backed up. I couldn't use my fucking sink for over a week. Couldn't do laundry, couldn't do nothing because of that fucking pipe. And we put up with that pipe for quite a few years until they finally decided to fix that pipe. And then when they did finally decide to fix that pipe, that's when the plumber broke the pipe and made it even worse. Why would I want to move into another house to face those same fucking problems with a landlord that's going to tell me, well, if you don't like it, you can move, or it's as is, or I'm not keeping this house very long, so it really doesn't fucking matter. Or, sure, have somebody come in and fucking so-called fix it, but not fix it correctly, so that you're arguing. You know? 3 months later, you realize that they didn't fucking fix the fucking what they said they were supposed to fix. I don't, people. I don't. I don't want to live like that again. I don't want to go into another house like that again. I don't. And that's all you're going to find. Unless you can spend $5,000 a month on rent. At least $5,000. 3,000 and up. And that's completely impossible for me. I'm so fucking far in debt with fucking CIBC Bank, right? That's just got my on lockdown, right? And just life in general, right? You know, I'm buying fucking bunk beds and shit. You know, like, think about it. Those days are supposed to be over. I've already done that. How many times have I bought a bunk bed? Quite a few fucking times in my lifetime, people. And I'm still buying them. Now I'm gonna go buy mattresses. With no place to put it. As my kids are fucking ragging me every second day. When they're not ragging me every day. Over petty shit. In the great grand scheme of things. So, I'm like a sitting duck. At the mercy of The people who rent rooms downstairs. That have decided that they're warlords now. And it won't start and stop with that. It will be something else later too, right? So that's what I mean. It doesn't fucking end. Instead of being part of the solution, they just want to be a part of the problem, right? Right? As long as they're in control, that's all that matters, right? Edgar can go back home to his mother. Or wherever he came from. He can go get his own fucking suite. I'll take my chances with somebody else. Seriously. And if I can't fucking make it, then I'll just fucking walk away from the shit, people. I'll just fucking walk away from the shit. Like I said, what's gonna happen when I'm dead? And my kids fucking walk in here and realize I'm not fucking around anymore to fucking do the shit that I do every fucking day so that they have something to fucking even bitch about. Seriously. It's gonna be a fucking gong show. They wouldn't know where to begin. Never mind maintain. Right. But that is the targeting of those families that are in some little fucking green book somewhere that, you know, some leprechaun just likes to fuck with every now and then. Hold on. Anyway, people, there's going to come a time when my son is going to realize something. When I am gone and I am not there to help anymore, that's when it's going to hit fucking home. And he's going to look around and he's going to wish the hell I was here. The same is true for Tisha. Right? Can't factor in Sierra. Her life has already been destroyed. That's not even Sierra anymore. I don't know who that person is. Can't factor in my oldest son because he likes his bottle more than he likes his family. Right? I have no relationship with my oldest son. Grandmas don't live forever, people. Grandmas don't live forever. So I can't be there for Amari and Andre in 40 years from now like I've been there for my kids. Or I should say 25 years from now. I'm not going to live for another 25 years, people. I'm not. Anyway, I went to court today, this morning. I have to make a correction here. When we had trial in April, the trial was canceled because that other guy over there didn't have a lawyer. He ditched his lawyer. For whatever reason, he ditched his lawyer. And so it was put over until May to set another trial date because I wasn't settling out of court. So actually on the day of the trial, April 15th, that man who likes to lurk showed up with his sister and thought that they could just tell my lawyer, right, that give the baby to them for the week and let me have him on the weekend. I said, no, I'll see you in trial. We'll just set a new trial date. So then we had to go back in May, and then that's when he didn't show up. My lawyer reminded me of that today. So that's a correction there. And he didn't show up today. So he didn't show up in May to set the trial date. No lawyer has contacted my lawyer, and he didn't show up today. And no lawyer showed up today either. So as far as court goes, we still have trial starting December 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, and then I think the 23rd. 5 days we're booked in for trial in December. So I don't have to go to court now until December, beginning on the 17th. for trial. Well, the passing of Amari continues, the stalking, all that shit continues, right? And just another thing I want to make a note of here, through the stalking, the sister of this man who likes to lurk has now moved on to somebody else's YouTube channel and has expressed, you've seen the video, Tiffany M. Draper, right? Has expressed that Shimei was a wretched drug addict, wretched drug user, wretched, something like that. It's nasty. Just this real scuzzy, nasty, wretched drug user. But yet, her brother viewed Shimei as the love of his life. Well, what does that say about that man if Shimei was such a wretched drug user? With Shimei being the love of his life. The point is, this girl who's stalking me and antagonizing me, right? So that they just don't show up for court when it's convenient for them, right? So that they can continue stalking me and antagonizing me, right? For a little longer anyway, as they're bashing Shimei in a public forum by calling her a wretched drug user, just so that this person can protect her brother's reputation, as if anybody really cares who he is. Really, as if anybody really fucking cares. Right? Because he's lurking. You can't even see the dude. How can you see somebody that's always fucking lurking? Right? But just by saying that Shimei was a wretched drug user, but yet her brother was madly in love with her, and she was the love of his life, is asinine. It's about as asinine as these people downstairs arguing with me about paying $75 more. Just so they can have a roof over their head, right? And live. And I already told my landlady, okay, we'll do the $200 this time, because that's what my son offered her. And now that it's there, because the roommate is bitching, my son is expecting me to fucking cover it. Well, they chip in $25 each. Right? Tisha's probably going to end up moving out soon, people. She wants to get on with her own life. So I let her keep $75 because she helps me so much with the baby. I try and give her back a little bit versus saying, yeah, give me $5.75. Right? You keep $75 for yourself at least. Because that's all I can do for you right now, for as much as you help me with Amari. Right? So I'm losing money there too. The house is imploding. As my landlady every year is coming wanting more and more and more, and because she's basing the rent on the housing market, because the government has allowed people to exploit the general population when it comes to the rentals, right? As our children are being picked off one by one so their organs can be harvested or pushed off the welfare rolls, either or, it doesn't matter, it benefits the government, right? So what kind of gong show am I in? I'm in a fucking gong show. And if my kids think this is a fucking gong show now, wait until I'm gone. Because trust me, I would prefer to have Shimei here helping me and being a part of this, what I'm in, than fucking living the way I'm living right now. Right?